Well, didn't know how fast we were going to do our summaries. Sometimes we're quicker than others.
That's up to you, Danielle. But either way, the shorter the better, because they're short. It's fine.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Book Reshorts. Woo!
We are wearing Bermuda shorts today.
We are. That actually plays into my little short that I'm doing today, Sam.
And I didn't even know that. I'm just psychic.
He didn't know that, actually. I'm pretty sure you're not familiar with this media that I'm going to talk about, but maybe. Who knows?
Oh, Danielle, please tell me, what are we doing for your super special short today?
Okay, so for my super special short, Sam, I'm going to talk about the amazing comic Archie versus Predator.
Okay, couple of things.
Yes.
Awesome, but we did not introduce ourselves.
You said Danielle. I figured everybody at least knew my name.
Oh, that's the important one. Well, I'm Sam then, because you're not going to bother introduce me.
This is Sam, everybody. He's my co-host.
We're very professional, especially in our short episodes, which we do in the holidays because we are just frazzled and our brains don't work.
Yeah, that's very true. Here we are talking about Archie
obvious.
versus Predator.
But I am really excited to hear this, Danielle. You're going to tell me about Archie versus Predator?
I am, because this is actually, this was a gift from Sam, everybody.
Yeah, it was.
It was, but Sam hasn't read it. He just bought it and sent it to me.
Look, I know you have a love of Archie and horror films, so I figured what better than a mashup of the two?
I do. And I don't know if I have a love of Archie. I just have a long history of having Archie comics in my bathroom.
I mean, Danielle, I'm not going to comment. There are many kinds of love in this world. And I can't say that's wrong love.
Yes.
I don't believe in wrong love.
It started long ago for my grandpa, and here we are today with Archie still in my bathroom. In fact, this one was in my bathroom.
I'm honored, Danielle, frankly.
Anytime. So Archie versus Predator, Archie notoriously has done many combinations of things, and this is quite the wild ride.
I gotta ask, Danielle, I mean, I did skim through a few of the pages just to get a sense of like what this was before sending it to you to make sure it wasn't just like some weird cash grab.
I mean, maybe.
it is a cash grab. I got that. But at least one that had enough actual weirdness to be worth sending to you. How does this compare to other crossovers you have seen in the Archieverse?
Well, I'm more familiar with the Predator. The last one I read, I think, was Archie versus the Punisher, maybe? And not
okay.
And I don't know. I kind of like this one. This has a really interesting vibe to it, and it's a little, dare I say, sexier for an Archie comic. Somehow, before everybody dies.
Well, the word sexy and Archie are not words I'd ever thought would go together, but here we are.
Well, there's lots of different types of Archie comics, Sam.
I mean, that's a fair point. I just have never associated anything with those comics to be sexy, and the carbon copy women with switched hair colors always sort of unnerved me. I thought, is this an island of clones?
Also, what I really like about this is that it starts out very normal and then quickly deteriorates into the weirdest thing I've possibly ever read.
Oh, perfect. I can't wait to hear how this goes. So this is still a short, Danielle, so I'm going to need you.
It is. Well, it's comic. It's short, Sam.
All right.
I'll try my best.
I believe in you, but I'm not going to help. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to have questions, I'm sure.
So Archie versus Predator. This is by Alex DeCampi, Fernanda Ruiz, Rich Kozlowski, and Jason Millette. So, you know.
Okay, team effort.
It was. I mean, most Archies are. So this opens with them. It is spring break at Riverdale High School. And you're familiar with the general crowd of Archie people. Yes, maybe?
I am.
Okay,
but maybe our audience isn't. So please enlighten us.
I will. So this has your general crew of Archie, his constant love triangle, Betty and Veronica. Jughead's there as well, Archie's best friend. There's like a couple of other people who are standing around. They're all talking about...
Doesn't Jughead have a dog named like Hot Dog?
Yes, but not
what a
in
dumb
this.
Name for a dog.
Not in this comic.
I'm sorry.
And so they're just talking what they're going to do, and it sounds like, oh, we're just going to do our usual. This is super boring. And then who should pull up but Cheryl? And Cheryl is the rich girl from, I think, the private school, because they all go to the
I thought
the
Veronica
school.
was the rich girl.
Yeah, but she goes to the public school and is friends with, for bizarre reasons unknown to mankind, she is friends with all the like low-end people in this book.
So you are for class segregation.
I am not. I just don't understand why they keep her around or why she keeps them around, to be honest.
Well, especially since one of them is her romantic rival.
Exactly. It's crazy.
Question. Do you think Archie is what gave you your lifelong love affair with love triangles?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't dug into my psyche.
Danielle, it's time for some self-reflection. We're going to take the remainder of this episode now to diagnose you. Let's start with your childhood. You said your grandfather used to keep these comic books in your bathroom or his bathroom?
I probably had some in his bathroom, but he definitely gave them to us every holiday.
Did he read them or just think like, oh, these are comics, kids will like these?
I think he probably was fairly familiar with them. He read everything.
Okay, so...
Dude, I thought we didn't have time for this, Sam.
Look, if I'm going to practice being a psychotherapist,
and then we're going to diagnose me with love triangle-itis.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but we have much more important things than Archie fighting the Predator. We have to figure out about your psychosexual history with Archie.
I don't think we're going to get through this in a short amount of time.
All right, I'm sorry. We'll put that on the back burner for a future episode.
I'm sure there'll be enough for other love triangle we can talk about.
Okay, great.
So Cheryl pulls up in her convertible. As I said, she's a super rich person. She has a brother named Jason. And she says, got any plans for spring break, proles? Which I assume is, actually Jason says this, I assume that he means proletariats.
Yeah, the proles.
Great.
I know. I mean, they call them plebs.
So
or
good.
The dirty, unwashed masses.
And so apparently Jason and her are going to the Caribbean, so they're being all sassy about it, I guess.
Oh, you gotta be careful when you go to the Caribbean. You'll run into Bill Wilson? No.
So you can't remember his name either now.
Ben Wilson. That's it.
Will Benson. Ben Wilson.
Ben
Willis.
Wilson and
Ben
Will
Willis.
Benson. Willis. Ah,
we got there.
It's close enough.
Serial killers, whatever. I know it's still no. I forever know what you did last summer.
I forever know what you did last summer. I will always not remember not knowing what you did last summer.
Okay. So in the background, Jughead's eating some chips while Cheryl gives him a hard time about how they're doing nothing over spring break and she's being all fancy. But
well, let me tell you, there's nothing better than nothing.
But good news, everybody. Jughead just won a competition in his potato chip bag. He won a luxury beach vacation.
To the same place Cheryl's going.
Well, to some place. To a place called, it doesn't say where it is, but it's some place called Los Perdidos Resort. The Lost, I think.
So presumably like Central America.
Yeah, I think it's in a similar area because Cheryl shows up shortly. Not to spoil anything.
Yeah, I figured. It may be great if Cheryl just showed up and said, haha, you're all poor, and then drove off and didn't enter the story again for the whole remainder of the comic.
I mean, that'd be great, but that's not quite what happens. So they show up. It's like a nice little touristy area. They're super excited about it. Betty's like, oh, this place is amazing. And her and Veronica appear to be sharing a room. And Veronica's like, oh, I'm going to be so bored sitting on a beach for a week because she's obnoxious.
Okay, sure. And she's sharing a room with Betty, her rival.
Well, but they're also best friends, Sam.
I don't understand this relationship.
I don't either, but we're not going to get into it in this story.
You're right. I'm sorry. I can't get distracted by the insanity that is Archie in general. I have to be distracted by the insanity that is Archie in this specific comic.
Exactly. You need to stick to the plot of this.
All right.
We can talk about Archie some other time.
No, please.
So Dilton, who is one of the one of the friends in the friend group, he's like the geeky one who runs the yearbook, apparently. And so apparently he's still supposed to be editing this while he's on this Caribbean vacation on spring break.
Editing the yearbook?
Yeah, he's editing the yearbook.
Dude. Boundaries, work-life balance.
I know. So Archie's like, what's going on? You look so stressed out. He's like, the deadline's in 2 days, which I don't know what deadline's during spring break, but here we are.
He obviously just missed the deadline and is pretending that, yes,
yeah,
he's like, I gotta do this. It's too late already.
So he brought his laptop so he could do the layouts and everything, but they haven't finished any of the polls. Archie's like, what are you talking about? What polls? And he's like, most likely to succeed, cutest couple, teacher's pet, most popular, best dressed, etc. And all the girls get excited. They're like, best dressed!
Oh, Archie, you're still stuck in the 19 whatevers that you came out in.
He's like, Archie's like, don't worry, we could totally help you with these polls. All the girls will get dressed and we'll vote. And I'm thinking, that's not how high school polls work. Are these the only people in the entire school? You're just gonna vote on these 8 girls.
Also, how creepy is to have an impromptu beauty contest? Just like, hey, girls, get all dressed up. We're all going to judge you. No, thank you.
That's exactly what happens.
I hate it.
So Dilton's pretty excited about this. And
I mean, he would be. It's probably the most action he sees in his life.
Probably, though he gets really turned on by his computer, but that's neither here nor there. We don't need to go into that.
Danielle, you can't just drop something like that and then move past it.
It's really funny. He's like, oh, you've taken such a weight off my mind. And then he pulls out of the scene and you see him running across with his computer. And he's like, finally, beautiful, we can be alone. And then they do this really creepy drawing of him where he looks super turned on by his computer.
Oh,
and he says, you're going to love this. He says, oh, gorgeous, I can't wait to press myself against your big aperture.
aperture?
Yeah, well, because then you open it up, so you're like, what does he have? So he opens it up, and it turns out that it's actually a telescope.
Okay, great. You are going to need to post a picture of that panel to our Twitter.
I will do that. And so he's looking through the telescope and he sees basically kind of like a star, a giant, I don't know, meteor maybe, like coming through the sky. And he's like, well, that's
a
cool.
Shooting star.
Yeah, but it's like, it's huge.
Okay.
And everybody's looking out their window and they're like, oh, cool, look at that.
So we're all going to die. Meteor impact.
Yes.
Got it.
And the next scene you see when you wish upon a star, dun dun dun, and spaceship, obviously. And surprise, Cheryl has now shown up in her little yacht. She has come onto the island. She's like, oh, we're here. Did you miss us? Isn't this place so quaint? Why is she there? I don't know.
Well, who invited her? How did you even know they were at this specific location? You know what I bet? All right. This might be a little speculative on my part, but I am going to assume that Cheryl is deeply, deeply lonely.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
She is someone who yearns for human connection, but is so lacking in socialization that the only way she interacts with people is by pushing them away. And so she hates herself. It's all self-loathing. It's a dark path for Cheryl. I
would not disagree with that, because sometimes she has little moments with them, and then, the next book she does not.
Great. Well, Cheryl, you are pitiable.
Well, it doesn't really matter in this context. Jason says, oh, we know we're super busy this morning. There's a volcano on this island that has a fabulous little pre-Columbian shrine to the local jaguar goddess, and I rather fancy a souvenir.
He's going to steal a shrine?
Not going to steal it. They're just going to go and check it out. Maybe steal it. We'll find out, Sam.
When a rich white person says they want a souvenir of a local native artifact, that usually means they're going to steal it and put it in the British Museum.
Absolutely. That's 100% what happens. So they go off into the jungle, and meanwhile, they hold their best dressed competition here on the island.
Great.
I know.
Best dressed. What an awful superlative to use in a yearbook.
It's terrible. And Betty's kind of all, put out by it, because she's like, I'm never going to win this competition because I don't have money. And, Veronica does. And of course she's going to win. And Archie's going to give her a 10, and it's not going to be fair.
See, this is why I think we should abolish all superlatives in yearbooks. You just say, everyone, you're in the yearbook. That's good enough. And then no one reads them anyway, so who cares?
I agree. I don't know if our yearbook had those, actually, come to think of it.
I don't think it did, but again, I did not read it, so I'm sorry.
So anyway, Betty goes into a room, and surprise, surprise, Cheryl's actually in that room for reasons unknown. And she's basically like, she hasn't actually gone into the Jaguar Temple, I guess. And so she's like, hey, if you want to, you can totally borrow one of my amazing, rich, fancy clothes so that you can win this competition. You could, win over Veronica. Wouldn't that be great? And
this is how Cheryl ingratiates herself into the group dynamic.
No, I don't think she's really doing that. I think she's just trying to break everybody up. Because Veronica Lodge needs to be taught a lesson, quote unquote.
She does. She's rich, but she doesn't act rich.
Veronica?
I'm just saying, she doesn't act it not compared to Cheryl, who refuses to even associate with those filthy pores.
In comparison to Cheryl, no. In comparison to the other ones, yes.
That's what I'm saying. She doesn't act like a proper rich person, according to Cheryl.
Exactly. That's not quite what's happening. I think she's just, like as you said, lonely and wants to break up the fun little group that they have.
Oh, Cheryl.
And so originally Betty turns her down. She's like, shallow popularity gimmicks and skimpy outfits are not who I am.
I think that is who you are based on the history of Archie comics.
Poor Betty. She tries so hard. So sure enough, they're out on the beach. They're trying to do their little competition, and everybody is judging Veronica and gives her a 10, except for Moose, one of the big jockey Moose. Characters.
Yeah, he loves the little nerdy girl, right?
Yeah, Midge.
Doesn't she and Jughead have a thing on the side?
No. That's Ethel. Well,
Ethel. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking of. Ethel. Never mind.
Midge is pretty popular, I think.
Okay, great.
And Dalton is the one that's doing the commentating on the judging. He's like, that's a perfect score from everyone except the East German judge, who...
I didn't know Moose was East German.
So funny. And Moose is like, she's nice, but she's not my Midge.
I mean, I admire Moose's single-mindedness.
Sorry, I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
Nope, he's just single-minded. He loved Midge, and that's very sweet.
It is.
And maybe he expresses that in violent and non-healthy ways. but I think it's coming from a good place.
It is. But sure enough, Betty shows up and she is in a hot off the press Cheryl outfit. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, Betty's amazing. And they all give her like 11s.
What qualifies these jerks to judge fashion? Like, what makes them the arbiters? Like, oh yes, this is, I work for Vogue or whatever.
Exactly. It's insane. And they're just all the guys judging the girls. So it's terrible.
Yeah, right.
Genuinely terrible.
Awful. Yeah.
So Veronica gets really upset. How could you do this to me? And she runs off and she's complaining about how this meant everything to me and you can't even afford that and it's not fair. Because apparently her entire life is wrapped up. Care. So Cheryl shows up and she's like, oh, that's because that outfit's mine. And so she finds out that she teamed up with Cheryl to publicly humiliate her, quote unquote, which is crazy just because she lost a popularity contest. And she jumps on Betty and she's like, you're no friend of mine.
Oh, like literally attacks her?
Yeah, she jumps on her and they start getting into this huge fight. Oh yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. That's a perfect 10 from the judges right there.
So it's like this huge fight. Archie's trying to like break them up and he accidentally falls into Veronica, who ends up like punching Betty into the face. And breaks her nose.
Wow. Okay.
It's intense. This is an intense Archie comic. And then Veronica and Archie start to make out. Like, oh my gosh, are you okay? I'm so sorry. And they start making out in the beach waves. And Betty gets really upset and she runs off into the jungle.
Question.
Yes.
For the Archie expert here. I always thought that Archie's relationship with Betty Veronica was mostly chaste.
It really depends on which comics you're reading.
Okay.
So the like general Archie comics, like the ones you see in the grocery store, yeah, totally PG for the most part.
Okay. But there is a history of him being like, yeah, I'll tap that.
Yeah, especially in kind of the more modern Archie comics, and definitely since the TV show came out, because the TV show has a lot of sex
I forgot about the TV show. Yeah. All right, well, go on, Archie. Go get that rich girl.
So
that's it.
Betty ends up in the jungle, and she comes across the shrine that Cheryl and Jason were talking about.
How convenient.
Yes. She goes, boy, they're the last people I want to run into right now, but if those two stole anything from here, I'm reporting them to NATO.
NATO?
I don't know.
NATO's... That's North Atlantic, and you're in the Pacific, probably.
Saying, that's what she says. And so she ends up inside of there and she finds this dagger that's in there. And she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Cheryl wouldn't have pocketed this thing. So you're right, Cheryl would have stolen. And then she picks it up and kind of jokingly is like, I, Betty Cooper, call down Jaguar vengeance on nasty old Cheryl Blossom and Veronica Lodge for punching me in the face and kissing my Archie. And then immediately rocks start to like fall from the ceiling.
All right. And is there no, like, this is obviously a shrine that's been preserved. Is there no, like, people set up here, ropes, a fence?
Nope. It's just like... I don't know, a shrine in the jungle that apparently has no human intervention.
But everyone knows about it.
Apparently.
That would never last.
It would
Humans
not.
are terrible.
And so these rocks start falling from the ceiling, and the knife falls from her hand and gets stuck in her like outfit. Like it gets tucked in there. She doesn't realize it's there. And she runs from the room.
Yes, I often run with a knife in my pants and don't realize
Well, she's running from rocks, so she probably was a little more concerned with that.
Okay, if you say so.
So meanwhile, everybody's searching for her in the jungle because she hasn't come back in a couple of hours. And as they're searching for her, she suddenly just appears. She's like, hi, everybody, sorry about that. And she's like, I'm sorry, I let my temper get the best of me. And Veronica apologizes to her as well. And she asks if they've seen Cheryl and Jason because nobody's seen them recently.
But do they care? Why do they care about Cheryl and Jason?
Nobody cares.
That's what I thought.
And so, meanwhile, you see this panel with the Predator.
Oh, yeah, I forgot he was in this.
Yeah, so the Predator is like standing up. Everybody's down below on the grass, and he's standing up in this tree, and he has like a skull in his hand with some vertebrae and a body that's like upside down when you can see its rib cage, and there's a lot of blood.
I love it.
Yeah, so I'm assuming maybe it's Cheryl and Jason.
Oh, we can only hope.
So, meanwhile, they decide to go home early. I don't know why, but they do.
This is a free vacation they want from a chip bag, right?
I know. Wild, right?
Okay. I guess we'll just go home early because Betty and Veronica had a cat fight.
And so they're about to get onto their boat. And Betty realizes that she has the dagger on her, but it's like too late because they're already like leaving.
They're on a boat.
Yeah.
And they left early for some reason. She didn't bother to change her clothes between leaving and...
Yes. They just like all left together.
Like, oh, we gotta leave right now. No time to change your clothes or pack or anything.
Yep. So assumedly the next day they're at Pop Tate's, which is this little cafe that they all eat at. And they're all sitting around. They're kind of talking about their vacation and how they're glad everything's back to normal. And so as they're all eating, Dilton suddenly interrupts and he's like, oh my gosh, have you guys heard the awful news? Cheryl and Jason were killed near our resort. Apparently some sort of jungle animal got to them.
Yes, because jungle animals tie things up and then skin them alive.
Yes, exactly. Everybody's like, oh no, that's terrible. I never liked Cheryl, but that's awful.
It's hard to feel that bad.
And so Pop, the owner of the restaurant, he comes up with a cake. He's like, I made you kids a special welcome home cake for the whole 3 days that you were gone.
What?
And
Is he related to any of them, or just like, no. I just love my best customers. Here's a free cake.
That's totally it. They've been going there since they were kids, so he's probably
like, that doesn't work for me.
So he's coming up, he's about to cut the cake, and suddenly his head is blown off.
Oh.
This book is so
like,
funny.
It just explodes, huh?
Oh, yeah, and it's like full color glory.
Oh, this comic sounds amazing. I kind of wish I'd got it for myself.
It's kind of crazy. He collapses to the floor and he is like dead. And everybody's like, oh my God. And he's like, come on, we've got to get out of here. And Betty's like, this is my fault. And everybody's like, what are you talking about?
Wait, don't I get the cake?
I know. I'm surprised Jughead didn't grab it, to be honest.
I mean, Jughead's like, blood. It's just extra flavor.
Oh, no. He looks at the cake. According to this panel, Jughead does look at the cake. There's an eyeball in it. So he does not eat it.
Oh, Jughead. I didn't know you were that picky. Well, what a loser.
So Betty comes up to Veronica. She's like, Veronica, I know why this is happening. I can stop it. And I need you to come with me right now. We're off to the bathroom. And she like pulls her aside and they run into the bathroom.
Because all important conversations must happen in the bathroom away from those pesky boys.
And she says, okay, we've got to go see Sabrina. Like the teenage witch Sabrina.
Oh, okay. I forgot they existed in the same universe.
They are in the same universe. They don't cross over super frequently, but they do occasionally.
I'm excited to see how Sabrina, a magical person, is going to handle a space alien.
Yeah, well, apparently, according to Betty, she believes that they're being pursued by something supernatural, so she wants to go talk to Sabrina.
Okay, good.
And she knows about Sabrina's witchiness, I guess.
All right, so Sabrina, let's get to Sabrina. I'm excited for this.
So they show up at Sabrina's house, and Sabrina's like, oh gosh, what do you guys want? But she lets them in. Veronica doesn't believe in any of this nonsense, and Betty explains to her what's happening, and she's like, okay, show me the jaguar knife.
So Betty knows she's a witch and magic is real.
Yes.
And she's still, like, hung up about Veronica being rich and liking her boyfriend?
Yes.
Okay.
And she's everything, Sam.
I mean, if it was maybe like, oh, magic is real, I got bigger concerns right now than the rich girl flirting with Archie, who is not a very good boyfriend to begin with.
She seems pretty chill about knowing about Sabrina's past history.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, go on. There's lots going on here.
Sabrina basically says the simple solution is to use this knife to kill as many people as you cursed. So if she cursed 2 people, she would need to use the knife to kill 2 people. But failing that, she says she might have something that'll work.
Wait. Her advice is murder 2 random hobos to break the curse.
Yes. Or 2
Does she do anything to, like, assess whether the curse is real or not? Just, like, assume, like, oh, you told me you said something holding a knife that's from a jungle, so it must be actual magic.
When she, like, touches the knife, she's like, oh, this is bad. Like, she knows. I don't know, Sam. She knows. It's Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
I am impressed by any magic artifact that can summon a freaking space alien.
No, this book has a lot of questions in it. So Sabrina takes it. She opens this book. She's standing at her little altar with the knife, and she's doing some kind of magic spell with it. And suddenly, the predator breaks through the window and stabs her through the heart.
Not Sabrina!
And then, it's so gross. He pulls her head off of her body, and her whole spinal column comes with it.
Well, I guess we know the answer to what happens when a teenage witch goes up against Space Alien Hunter and it's not pretty.
This book, man.
I would have thought you would put up a better fight than, I don't know, nothing.
I know, I was actually really surprised that she died so quickly. I would have thought
I'm disappointed in you, Sabrina. I thought you had actual power.
Well, it did come from behind her, to be fair.
Yeah, but, like, did she not have wards or anything around her house?
I guess the predator can go through wards. It's a great question, Sam. I don't know the answer to that.
Okay, good. I'm just saying, Sabrina, though teenage witch, not a very good witch.
I do love the next part, though. It has nothing to do with anything, but Veronica is covered in blood. Betty's completely clean, and she's like, why does this keep happening to me? Because she's been covered in blood several times. And she's like, well, I'm going to borrow some clothes from Sabrina's closet. Not like she can use them anymore. Especially the turtlenecks.
Oh, I mean, cold, but fair.
So funny.
I mean, what really makes this comic work, it sounds like, is its total irreverence for the actual tragedy that's befalling these kids.
Yeah, and like these characters, lots of characters die in this, and everybody's just kind of like moving on to the next thing pretty quickly. They have a whole sexy scene with Veronica getting redressed, which, nobody really needed to see.
Oh, so right now they have gratuitous Veronica getting changed.
Absolutely. I was like, wow, that was an interesting choice. It was
How
obviously...
graphic is it?
It's... you just see her in her bra and underwear several times.
Oh, well this
doing sexy poses, Sam.
American culture is like, nudity is so much worse than violence in American culture. It's a real problem. We should really look at European standards of
Sure, I think
what
this is just as
media.
gratuitous as the pulled out heads.
Oh, absolutely gratuitous, unnecessary, but like, we can't show anyone beyond their underwear, but we can definitely show eviscerations in full detail.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
That's all I'm getting at.
And so they have come up with this. They don't quite know what it is. Betty managed to snap a picture kind of in the heat of the moment. So they have a picture of the face of the creature.
Uh-huh.
And they know that it seems to be kind of obsessed with them for some reason.
That's a good question.
And so they decide they're kind of like going to set a trap for it back at the school, I think.
Hey, that's my job.
No, you're a trap maker, like Fred from Scooby-Doo.
If the Scooby Gang was here, they would have already had that guy trapped and ripped off his mask.
Yes, that's certainly true. And it probably is just something in a mask. Plot twist.
Definitely not a real alien.
Scooby-Doo. So they end up back at the high school, and the whole crew is there. They don't know what's going on, obviously. Just Betty and Veronica do.
And they decide not to share that there's a space alien murdering them?
Well, they do. There's like, somebody brings, one of the guys, I don't know who it is, brings his father, who's a military guy. And they show him the picture of the space alien, of the Predator. And he's like, oh, yes, we do know about the existence of predators.
Oh, okay, good. I was wondering if like Arnold or Jesse Ventura were going to show up.
Yes, it's basically that concept.
Got it. Love it.
So it says there's specific rules. The target must have a weapon or must directly challenge the predator. Their stealth armor makes them nearly invisible, and they have infrared vision. It's bad news, kids. Really bad news.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Did Cheryl have a weapon?
Who knows? Maybe she was just trying to attack it.
Also, did Sabrina have a weapon?
So Sabrina had the knife in her hand.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if she has holding the knife. Okay, well, you know what?
Counts,
checks out then.
So instead of calling the government, which you think would be literally the first step, you're like, oh, there's a predator on the planet in Riverdale.
If the military knows about these things, they should be like, hey, we got another one. Send Area 51 out here to help us.
Yeah, but somehow, I don't know, the town seems to have shut down and he has no ability to call other people in the army, which,
And no one in the government's like, well, this whole town's totally off the map. That's weird.
Yeah, so he's like, well, if I had a special ops unit here, I'd send someone out dressed as Veronica to lure the predator out, but we don't have that. And they're basically like, well, who could be foolish enough to volunteer as predator to bait? And so they end up having, because he fits into the clothes, they send out Jughead.
Okay, question.
Yes.
If the predator only attacks you if you challenge it directly or have a weapon, couldn't they just disarm themselves and go chill out and watch TV and be totally safe?
Yeah, I don't understand this part of the story. I'm going to tell you that right now, but it seems to be tracking Veronica and Betty anyway. Specifically, I think Veronica, because that was one of the people that she wanted murdered.
And somehow the knife magically transmitted the kill codes to...
Yes.
the predator.
Do not question the plot of this.
What's the point of me being here then?
I don't know. You have to go with it, because the rest of it doesn't make any sense either.
All right, I'm sorry. Go on.
So Jughead's dressed up as Veronica, standing in the street, trying to be like, hey, you're going to come out and get me or what? And suddenly there's a huge explosion and the predator is going after all of them. And there's this huge, Moose brought a bunch of weapons with him, his dad's guns, I guess. And so there's a huge shootout in the street.
Ooh.
So in the shootout, there are a couple of more minor characters that end up dying. We're going to kind of skip over that. No offense to all those lovely minor characters.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
As they realize that the predator is just going to follow them wherever they go until it kills us. And Jughead, who survived, is like, no, until it kills you, technically. Then it goes back to where it came from.
Weapon. Doesn't it need you have a weapon? Or all right, I'm not. Go on. I can't get over that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Archie gets mad at him, like, how could you say that? That you want Veronica to die, basically. And he's like, well, all my friends just died, like Moose, Kevin, Chuck, Midge. A lot of my friends died.
that's a fair point. I mean, I don't think Veronica's worth all that. And Betty's probably like, yes, get rid of her.
Oh, but they're best friends, Sam.
Mm.
And so they're like, well, let's just wait it out for the police. And Dalton is like, the police are no more. The entire Riverdale police force, both cars.
Both.
We're helping at the Spellman's house when everything just kind of disappeared. And so they are staying in the high school. So they're wandering through the high school, kind of just like, waiting it out, trying to come up with a plan. And Jughead stops at the snack bar, the little, what is it called? The vending machine.
Thank you.
Yeah. And he's trying to get it out. And he's like, of course, like he's in Veronica's clothes still. He's like, of course, Veronica never carries cash, so I can't get my snacks. He's all like upset about it. And
he just smash the window. Who cares?
I know. Right. It's the end of the world. So he's digging through the purse and he finds a dagger. And he's like, oh, I'll use this to like open it up. He doesn't seem concerned about this dagger at all.
Did they not hear the part about having a weapon?
I don't think that they paid much attention, apparently. So he's trying to get
This is the time when you pay attention.
See, well, Jughead's not the smartest, Sam.
Okay.
So he's trying to open this vending machine up, and the minute he gets his candy bar, like you see the Predator coming up behind him. And then it flashes back to all the other kids who are like, hey, where's Jughead? I don't know, He's probably at the closest food source. Let's go find him.
You guys are all idiots.
I know. So they've run out into the hallway, and there's this great but terrible scene of Jughead's head with his spine column like stuck inside the vending machine.
Well, why would a predator do that? Doesn't he want the trophy?
Well, he ate the rest of it, maybe.
Predators don't hunt for food, Danielle.
No, well, it's all gone. There's like intestines and then just Jughead's head.
Okay, great.
We might have to put a little disclaimer on this episode that you're going to kill off all your main characters.
Well, I think we can assume that this is non-canon.
Yes. So everybody's all sad. Obviously, it's Jughead. And
so why are they sad?
Oh, because this is like his best friend. Everybody's best friend. And then Dilton kind of has this little moment where he's like, I've never gotten to do all the things that I wanted to do, basically. Like, now that everybody's dying. And
I'm too young.
I'm
I've
too
never
young
been with
to
a
die.
woman.
Like, I haven't even, this whole school's about dating, and I've never even been asked, and I'm a millionaire from my App Store earnings, and nobody cares, apparently. And he's like, I just wanted to live kind of like a normal life. And he's like, but I've watched Archie all of these years, and he's just like, he's like the ideal specimen, basically.
Disagree.
I disagree too, but Dilton's like, so all these years as I was watching you, I finally, I wanted to be amazing. I created this machine, and he opens the door to the storage closet.
Wait. Before you say what it is, does Dilton wear Archie's face and try to become him?
Sort of. It's like...
Uh-oh.
It's like a giant robot machine that has Archie's head.
I hate it.
It's funny. And he climbs inside it. It's like the Iron Giant. He climbs inside of it, and he gets to be a giant version of Archie.
And somehow that's going to get him laid.
Well, I don't think... No, well, maybe. I think that in the deep recesses of his soul, that's kind of what he thinks. But this is supposed to be like he's like, I'm going to save the day with my giant machine that I have.
But why does it have to be shaped like Archie? I don't know.
Because that's who because he does everything that Dilton kind of wants in life. He's, popular. He has a girl.
Archie is everything he wants to be, inexplicably attractive to two random women.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of always liked Betty a little bit, I think.
Betty would do a lot better with Dilton, apparently, than Archie, because Archie is such a fickle man.
I wouldn't want Archie. What a lame jerk face.
Right. This is why I hate love triangles. Make up your damn mind.
Especially prolonged one. This is years and years and years. It's not even just
literally
a couple months.
Decades, half a century at least.
Yeah, it's
something
a really long
like
time.
that.
So he climbs into the machine, but it's malfunctioning. And as they're trying to fix it, of course, the Predator jumps through the window into the room and knocks over the machine. And he's like, Archie, help! If we can get the weapon system online, we can kill this thing. And they're like, Archie's over there banging at it with this huge wrench.
Because that's how you fix things.
Right.
Also, a high schooler built a weapons-capable military-grade robot in the school, and no one's like, all right, that's fine.
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Sounds exactly like something Dilton would do. And so he's trying to get it, and he can't turn it. He's like, I can't stop it. Starts malfunctioning, trying to kill basically everything in sight. And the machine does this huge fist thing and shoots towards the Predator, who dodges for it, and then kind of accidentally stabs Archie.
The Predator stabs Archie, or the robot?
The Predator, as he's trying to dodge this machine, ends up slashing Archie.
All right, well, he had it coming.
A little bit. And they manage to shoot a net, and it goes over the predator, and the predator is now trapped on the floor under this big, huge net.
Kill it! Kill it with fire!
Yeah, you think immediately they would try to kill this thing, but of course they just, like, stand there talking.
They all deserve to die, I swear.
They managed to talk down the machine so it's not going to kill everybody, and
they talk down the machine.
Yeah, actually.
All right, let's just gloss over that. I don't have time for this, Danielle.
No, it literally is Betty just being like, I know you can do it, Dilton. You just have to think. You can do it. And Dilton's like, I'm rewiring the main targeting circuitry. I can do this.
There's so much wrong with this. I can't even begin, but let's just go on.
So he talks Dilton into it. It's almost over, I promise. And Betty gives him a big hug, gives the machine a big hug, I should say.
Yeah, of course.
And Dilton inside his machine is like, oh my gosh, does this mean I'm the hero? And everybody's like, yes, Dilton, you've netted the predator and you've saved all of us. And he's like, I'm the hero. And then you see that the net is empty. Duh. And just as they're calling the police again, there's this huge, like, knife.
Yeah, that worked so well the first time.
And the knife stabs through the back of Dilton's head and he pulls his head off.
I mean, fair. Absolutely fair.
Should have been monologuing.
Never monologue.
And then it looks like he's going to eat the face off of Dilton. Oh, which he does.
Oh, great. I mean, I didn't think the predator ate his kills, but that's new.
Well, he pulls the face off of it at the very... I don't know if he eats it, but he definitely pulls it off.
Maybe he's just trying to take his face off and then put it on John Travolta's face.
Yeah, and that might be it. That's the secondary plot line to the story.
It makes sense to me.
So Veronica, they're like cuddled up with Archie, who's slowly dying. They're like, please go away. Please leave me and my friends alone. What did we ever do to you? And they're crying. And the predator kind of looks confused for a minute. Like there's a big question mark over his head. And then he drops the knife that he had got, like the little jaguar sword, and he walks off.
What?
Well, he says Betty. Like, the predator literally says, Betty, and then he drops the knife and he walks off, and Veronica's like, I'm Veronica.
What?
I don't know, Sam. That's what happens.
Does the predator have the hots for Betty? Because that is not something I want to contemplate.
So meanwhile, they have now made it back to Veronica's house. The knife is there. Like, he's like, I tried to get rid of it, but it just keeps appearing. Apparently, this is just a magic knife that follows them wherever we go.
Of course it is.
And she tells Betty that her dad installed a panic room in the manor the last year after the Russian arms deal went sour.
That's more like the Veronica I was expecting.
And so they're going to use it, and they're going to blow up the house, basically. Like, they'll survive in the room.
Why they blow up the house?
Well, they want to, they're going to lure the predator there and then blow him up.
Oh, okay. But the predator just left on his own.
Yeah, but apparently they think they can lure it back and kill it.
Okay, great. Well, I don't know why they need to if it's gone.
Well, I think it'll probably eventually come back. And so apparently there is a room in this locked, what is it called?
Panic room?
Yes.
Bunker?
Panic room. There's a room in this panic room that's like a little hospital room that apparently like fixes people magically.
What?
Sam,
okay.
I don't know. I did not I didn't write this comic.
You read it, though.
So that's literally what it is. They walk into this room. There is like hospital beds and some stuff. And they're like, okay, we're going to put them on here. And Veronica's like, how does this stupid machine work? And she's trying to get it to work at the little
maybe
machine.
Maybe get a professional to do this instead of maybe mangling
There's
your
nobody in
love
town.
interest.
Sam, the whole town's shut down.
Well, get them somewhere else then.
And there's all these little machines with like little, mechanical hands that comes down in needles, and they're clearly working on him, trying to get him to save him. But there's also one that says like a little post-it that she pulls off that she didn't read that says, "Do not ever turn this dial beyond 4." And of course she turned it to 11.
Well, of course it goes to 11. That's only makes sense.
I know. You wouldn't want it to go past 4, so it goes to 11. And so you see this picture of Archie, like, having these boils all over his skin. He's getting, like, it's like Hulk. He's basically, like, shredding his clothes and getting huge. He's like, help me! But they've already left for the panic room.
Why? So they basically turn the machine on, set it to 11, and decided, okay, job done, let's go.
Well, because they were trying to lure him there so they can get to the panic room. It's like a plan, saying they have a plan.
Why does the plan involve leaving Archie on a hospital bed being tortured?
Well, I don't think they don't realize he's being tortured. They think he's fixing him. So I think he's in the room, one of the panic rooms.
Why does he even have a dial that goes past 4 for it to never go past 4?
I don't know. And so they hear the door creaking, and Veronica opens it, and sure enough, the predator is standing there. And he's back, Sam. The predator is back.
Okay, great. Yay.
Veronica starts shooting him with the gun that she has, and the Predator jumps in and starts slashing at them.
Yeah, go Predator. Kill some teens.
And they start running for the panic room. And just as they are about to make it in there, his hand like pushes through the door and they can't get the door shut.
How do they expect to outrun the Predator?
I don't know, Sam. They're not very smart. They're teenagers. Their brains aren't fully formed. But it doesn't matter because immediately this giant pumped up Archie shows up and grabs his arm.
So hulked out Archie comes up and
Archie
attacks the Predator.
And so Archie and him get into this huge fight, and there's like a mace and an axe that they're going. I don't know why he has all these weapons. He does. In
a panic room, we need to prepare for the apocalypse, the Mad Max style wasteland that'll come after.
So they get into this huge fight, and Veronica is like, you know what? I can stop this. I can stop all this from happening because I can end this curse with basically stabbing myself. Like she grabs the knife, she's going to kill herself, and then
I don't think the dagger curse related to the Predator. I refuse to accept that.
Well, apparently they think it is. And Veronica goes to stab herself, but the Predator stabs her instead at the same time.
So she stabs herself as the Predator stabs her.
She's about to stab herself.
Okay, great. Well, I mean, either way, she's dead, so curse lifted, right?
Yes, but then Archie, like, immediately jumps on him, trying to, like, wrestle him away from Veronica, and just as Archie's about to get stabbed, Betty, like, jumps, I don't know, from the ceiling. It's hard to tell where she's jumping from, but she's like,
Spider-Man,
not my
got
Archie! It. She, like, jumps on top of him, and then her arm gets sliced off.
Okay, she can do better. I'm just saying, better than Archie.
She can, and then the Predator turns around and slices through Archie's head, and it explodes in this ball of goo with an eyeball.
Excellent. Great. Archie's dead. Well, that's the best part of the book so far.
And Betty's like, you killed my Archie. And then the Predator kind of like walks towards her and she stabs the knife into his chest. And Veronica, apparently still alive, like pushes him on the back and like pushes him forward deep into the knife.
Ew.
Yeah, she hits him with a mace. I lied. Sorry, I forgot.
Okay. Either way.
And the two of them have a little bonding moment, like, you understand why I loved Archie so much, and you loved Archie so much. And
this is with Betty without an arm, bleeding to death.
Yeah, totally is.
Okay, great.
And they're like, okay, the house is about to blow up, because they had set the timer earlier. We've got to get to the panic room.
Also, why does the house have a self-destruct?
I don't know, Sam. In case of the Russian arms
Enterprise
dealer
or whatever.
Bad.
Oh, just in case, I need to make sure my house has a self-destruct button.
And then for reasons unknown, the Predator is like, Betty, go, Betty lives. And Betty's like, what the heck?
The Predator does have the hots for Betty. That's not okay.
Well, they think it's a teenage Predator, if that makes you feel any better. They said that earlier, and I forgot to mention it.
No, it's much worse, because I don't understand what's happening at all.
And then Veronica, bless her, is like, we have got to, you have to listen to the ugly ninja. You're the bravest, smartest girl I know. Don't tell anyone, but you're also the prettiest, and you are 17, gosh darn years old. You'll get over Archie. Get to the panic room.
All right, so first things first. Yes, she's 17 and should definitely get over Archie, because screw Archie. But B, why does everyone care about Betty living instead of themselves? Like, they could all get to the panic room.
Well, I think Veronica's, like, very much dying on the floor.
Okay, great. So, okay, what?
And Betty was like...
missing arm isn't a real concern.
Betty was like, I'm not going without Archie. And they're like, Archie's super dead. Like, you gotta keep going. She's like, it's not worth living without Archie. And that's when Veronica says her whole spiel about, like, you have to live. You'll get over Archie.
I would say life is better without Archie,
yes,
frankly,
but she doesn't know this yet. She's never lived post-Archie.
Post-Archie, okay, great.
Post-Archie world. So the next scene, final little boxes here. Veronica is waking up. She's on the floor. She's like, what happened? Because she seems pretty much healed. And Betty says, I used your dad's machine to heal us. It's really super. And did you know there's a whole section in the manual on face and body reconstruction?
Uh-oh.
And Veronica's like, you're not going to, like, plastic surgery yourself or something, are you? And she's like, no, but guess what, Ronnie? We won't have to live without at least some version of Archie after all. And you see a scene of the Predator, like, on the bed, strapped down, and she's turning him into Archie. She's like, well, I will have to teach him to chill out around the cutlery, but he is devoted to us after all. He dragged himself in here to be with us. The end.
Her final act is to use plastic surgery on an alien using a plastic surgery robot for humans to turn him to make it look like Archie. And this is something like, oh, he's basically just Archie 2.0.
Yes.
I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
Wild
amazing.
Ride, though,
That's amazing.
Sam. Wild ride. You cannot say that Spring Break in the Caribbean, you thought that was going to end with Archie being reconstituted from a predator.
I mean, how's the predator feel about all of this? I mean, if I was a predator, I'd be real super pissed if I was being turned into an Archie.
He really likes Veronica and Betty, so I think he'll be fine.
He likes them both? Then why is he trying to murder Veronica the whole time? I just like Betty.
He was cursed to murder Veronica.
I don't think that makes any sense.
I don't know,
sorry.
Sam. It's
I
very
refuse
confusing.
to accept the dagger curse. Okay, well, I'm glad you enjoyed that comic book, Danielle. I'm starting to regret I gave it to you because I had to endure all this, but here we are.
I really appreciate it. What a great gift, Sam. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, thank you for the gift of telling me that ridiculous story.
The gift that keeps on giving.
I'm glad Archie's dead because he sucked.
Everybody just dead except for Betty and Veronica. I could have done without Veronica. Betty's really my favorite character. I'll put it out there.
I think Betty's a good character, but she's also the dumbest, I think, because she's still chasing Archie when she could have Dilton.
I didn't say she's not problematic, but I do like her.
What exactly differentiates her from Veronica besides being blonde?
I don't know. Veronica's much more backstabbing. At least, Betty tries to be her best self.
I'll take your word on that. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with me, Danielle.
Anytime, Sam. Anytime.
So I guess if anyone out there has any favorite Archie characters who they think should have been reconstituted from the Predator besides Archie, definitely let us know that.
Who else should have survived this Archie versus Predator?
I mean, who would you have rather Betty use that machine to recreate besides Archie?
Jughead.
We all know Archie's the worst. Jughead?
Maybe Dilton.
Okay, that's what you're saying, but let's hear from our listeners, Danielle.
Hot Dog. Hot Dog probably made it.
Hey, he's a dog. The Predator's gonna kill a dog.
It's not even in there, so he's probably fine.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can send your suggestions to us at bookretorts.com.
Or you can tweet, Instagram, or Facebook us at bookretorts.
And if you want more nonsense and care to support us and give a little in this holiday season, you can do so at patreon.com/bookretorts.
Yay, Patreon.
Well, until next time, just remember, not canon.
Well, there's a lot of Archie that's not canon.
Yeah, it's a lot of Archie, to be fair, right? Just in general.
Yeah, thousands and thousands of things.
All right, well, until next time, bye.
Take care, everybody. I feel like you when I'm doing books. Because you don't take notes like I do.
It's a struggle sometimes.
I know, it is.